Hey, a few months back I did a review on the Bluetti AC60 when it first came out. And then I did a quick follow-up video on the AC60 plus its B80 Expansion battery, which is pretty cool. And that AC60 and this B80 Expansion are very rugged, and they remain one of my top picks in terms of a full-featured but small capacity expandable power station. Now, this B80 does have the ability to be solar charged independent of the main unit, which is kind of cool. It can take up to 100 or maybe 120 watts of solar right here in the front. And it does have its own DC out. So it's got a couple of USBs, and it's got a kind of typical 12 volt, 10 amp car socket right over here. But maybe you didn't know, if you already happen to have one of these, that you could use these with several other Bluetti models, but probably not the way that you think. So let's take a look at how that works. All right, so the first thing we need to do is plug the adapter cable into the side until it snaps. And then this has the DC7909 connector on it. So for the EB3A, that input is right here. Now this basically is outputting a 24 volt output. So from this B80 battery. And the input range is 12 to 28 volts on the EB3A. So I can plug that in there, and you'll notice that nothing happens. This is what I mean by, it's not quite plug and play, but almost. All right, so to make it start charging, all you have to do is press and hold the power button on the B80 for about 3 or 4 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it will start flashing. And you notice we are now starting to charge. So we'll watch the input on the display here, and we'll see what kind of input we can get. So this is going to actually have to read through the charge controller, and it's going to ramp up. So it's going to cap out at just about 200 watts of input, which is really good. So at 200 watts input, you can top this thing off pretty quickly. And using this same cable with the DC7909 connector, since I've already got it set to output direct, I'm going to go ahead and plug that in over here. On the AC180, and it immediately starts to wake up and start charging. And you'll see I'm going to get another about 200 watts input here on the AC180 as well. But yeah, so another 200 watt charge, which again is pretty respectable input for topping this thing off in a pinch if you need to, using this external battery. All right, let's say you've got an EB55. Well, as I said, they also make an adapter cable that's got an XT60 connector on it. So again, I've already got this thing turned on. I may have to re-enable it again since I unplugged the cable. Let's find out. Let's plug this into the front of the EB55. Now, the EB55 does have a DC7909 connector, but if you use that cable, you will not get a charge on the EB55. You need to use the XT60 connector. And the reason for that is the DC79 connector on here has a minimum 25 volt input. And the XT60 has a minimum 12 to 28 volt input, so you want to use the XT60 connector. All right, so you can see on the EB55 we are now getting just shy of 200 watts input from this B80. Okay, so if you happen to have a B80 or are thinking about getting a B80, this would be another reason to maybe consider getting one, because you can use it for a variety of other Bluetti models. The AC160, the EB55, and the EB3A. All you need are these accessory cables, or whatever accessory cable is appropriate for the model that you're wanting to charge. Long press the power and you are off to the races. So as you can see, this doesn't work like a conventional expansion battery when you're using it like this, because you are not simultaneously draining or balancing these cells. The expansion battery is merely providing a charge, a 24 volt charge, to the power station to bring its state of charge back up. But what is nice about this is that unlike kind of a standard, say, 12 volt battery option, and I did make a little video that kind of shows you how to use it sort of in this way, but there's a little bit of hassle with that setup. And it doesn't give you an easy way to recharge that battery with solar, whereas this already has a solar charge capability built in, and it's got its own set of DC outs. So that's another thing that I like about this B80. It's such a versatile little expansion battery at 800 watt hours. So something you might check out if you're interested. Links are below if you want to go check out the little adapter cables if you already happen to have one of these. And hey, who knows, there might be some really good Black Friday deals going on right now since we are at that time of the year. So thanks for joining me. Hope you found something you liked. If you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up, and I do hope to see you in the next one. Until then, have fun out there.